Hey shrimp people, what's up? Today I wanted to discuss ways to prepare for baby shrimp. Now, when we set up a tank and it's well established and we add our new shrimp to the tank, babies are going to come usually within only a matter of time. So these are a couple of things that I'm going to suggest doing to prepare for baby shrimp. Now I know what you're thinking, why do we really have to prepare for baby shrimp? Isn't everything that we're doing maybe for the adults enough? The thing is, we can get away with maybe not having as much algae in the tank or as much biofilm in the tank for adult shrimp, but when it comes to baby shrimp, a lot of the times we need to provide additional food sources, biofilm, powdered foods, things like that for them. So what I would do when I know that babies are coming, for example, in this tank I have babies coming in 2 to 3 weeks, a whole bunch of them. So time to get started on building more biofilm. This tank does have biofilm on it and quite a few surfaces that biofilm is growing on, but to enhance and increase the biofilm production, I'm going to add an Indian almond leaf. Now there is one back there. It's pretty skeletal right now, but by the time the babies arrive in 2 to 3 weeks, this Indian almond leaf will already have begun getting really soft, and microorganisms are going to colonize on it and create biofilm. And so the Indian almond leaf is pretty large and it has a really big surface area for biofilm for the baby shrimp. So I'll be adding that in. The second thing I'm going to do is add a little bit more moss in here. I don't have a lot in here as this is a pretty new tank, and the small pieces of moss I have in here are slow growing. So I'm going to add some moss probably right in between here, this spot right here, or tie it to the wood. And so the babies have more foraging and grazing areas on moss. Another thing that I'll do to prepare is I'll do a water change and I'll test my water just to ensure that all the parameters are what they should be. Now, I'm not going to go into specific parameters. Parameters are very important relative to baby survival. If your parameters are really off or if there's nitrates, this is when baby survival can decline. Another thing that I will do is I have not only a sponge filter, but I also have a hang on the back filter. And as you can see, there's nothing covering the intake. Now, this is not dangerous right now because I only have adult shrimp. This is a very new tank with never had babies in this tank before. So I'm going to put some either pantyhose, like a women's stocking over it, or sponge to prevent any babies from getting sucked up in there. And that's because, first of all, we don't want babies getting sucked up. But second of all, these babies are very expensive babies, and I only have, a small amount of these shrimp. They're very expensive, and I would really, really like to have a very high survival rate for these babies. Another thing to get going in your tank is adding a powdered food. Now, powdered food, you can give it to your adult shrimp. They enjoy it as well. But really, for me, I really amp it up and increase my powdered foods when I have babies and the colony's growing, and, just making sure that babies get food in every single corner of the tank. That's what the powdered food does. You just sprinkle a little bit in at the top, and it goes throughout the whole tank. And this is not a huge tank. It's only 7.5 gallons, so don't need to add a whole bunch. Just, kind of look on the calendar. Like, Caridina shrimp are usually pregnant for 20 to 30 days. Okay, so within around day 20, I'd definitely be taking a peek in the tank to see which of my females is still buried, if I can see little eyes on them. But if you don't want to go through all that trouble, you can just start dosing little amounts of powdered food 3 weeks after your shrimp are buried. Like, I know the exact day my shrimp got buried, but if you don't know, then you might want to start feeding a little bit before 3 weeks, just in case you've missed a female. Like, if a female's been hiding, has been pregnant for a week, you could actually go a week without feeding powdered foods. Babies can starve. So I guess the most important thing to know is that you have to create biofilm. Supplementing powdered food helps also when there's not enough biofilm, or if we can't produce enough, or whatnot, or if you have a very heavily populated tank that's constantly eating, then supplement with powdered food. Now, just to further mention, I have floating plants in here. I really, really like having floating plants because the intricate root systems sort of act as another place for biofilm and food to collect. See, I don't know if you can see on that, but it looks kind of dirty and fuzzy. Well, that's all like biofilm and food particles and things that the shrimp like to graze and pick on. Also, I have some plants, some booths in here. Another surface for biofilm. And that's about it. That's what I do to prepare for baby shrimp when I know they're coming in a brand new tank that's not had baby shrimp before. Once those baby shrimps start, I just basically never stop feeding the powdered foods, and I'm constantly replenishing the leaf litter and making sure my parameters are spot on. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped anybody who is expecting babies soon. This is a very exciting time, and a lot of people don't realize that they see buried females and then they don't see any babies or just a few babies, when really these are things you can do and things that you can control to help increase your baby shrimp survival. Thanks for watching.